Hi, I'm Lucas Osborne. Welcome to your Friday, September 9th KJI News and its speech day. First up, Ryan Nation caught up with Mrs. Worley, our new assistant principal, for an interview.
Hi, I'm Ryan Nation with KJI News. I am here to do an interview with Miss Worley. What were your previous jobs before becoming assistant principal?
So my first teaching job was at Edmond Santa Fe High School, and I was a math teacher and varsity cheer coach. And then I moved here to Choctaw High School and was a math teacher for a number of years. Most recently, I've been the district math coordinator, which means I worked with pre-K through 12th grade math teachers on curriculum and teaching practices.
What made you want to become assistant principal?
I love Choctaw High School, and I missed working with students for the last 4 years when I was at the administration building. So I'm super excited to be back working with this fun faculty and students again.
What are your jobs as assistant principal?
Okay, so my official title is academic principal, which means I work with the counselors on the course offerings and the master schedule. I'm in charge of the chat program and the high schools that work program. I do a lot of work behind the scenes with Power School to run programs and reports for the district office and for the State Department. And then I'm available every day as a resource for teachers and students.
Do you have a message for the students?
My message to students is high school is a huge part of your life right now, but in the span of your lifetime, it's only 4 really short years. So think big thoughts. Don't make any permanent mistakes, and be respectful and nice to everyone. You never know who might be your next boss. There's no telling what awesome adventures your life may hold. It may lead you to places and people and experiences that you never expected. So keep your options open and prepare for anything.
Thank you for that wonderful interview, Ms. Worley. Now back to you, Jacob.
Thanks, Ryan. This is the last week to buy blue and gold sausage. A 2.5-pound bag of sausage costs $8. A 3.5-pound bag of bacon costs $17, and a 5-pound bag of chicken costs $21. You can pick up your orders after 3 p.m. on the 20th. You pick it up at the Ag Building at 150 South XXX Road in Choctaw. If you'd like to place an order, contact Mr. O'Donnell at codonnell@cmpschools.org. If you're interested in joining COSA, there'll be a meeting during both lunch. During first lunch, there'll be a meeting in Mrs. Sindall's room 204. During second lunch, it'll be in Miss Stone's room 203. Drop by. Monday night, September 12th at 6:30 p.m. on Channel 5, our own Mrs. Griggs will be competing on Wheel of Fortune. Hunter Bass caught up with Mrs. Griggs.
So what made you try out for Wheel of Fortune?
Well, I've watched Wheel of Fortune since I was little. I used to watch it with my grandmother every night. And I watched it every single night after the news, and I felt like I was really good sitting on my sofa playing from my living room, and so I thought it was worth a shot.
So what was your audition process?
Okay, back in May, the Wheelmobile came to Newcastle RV, and my husband and I went down to Newcastle RV, and we filled out a form, and they put the form into this big hopper, and they pulled out random names from the hopper, and they called people on stage. Well, ironically, I did not get called on stage from the hopper, but my husband was wearing this giant bright yellow t-shirt that said "Real Men Marry Teachers," and I took a picture by the Wheelmobile, and I hashtagged the Wheelmobile on Instagram, and we were also on the news, and his shirt showed up on the news because it was really, really neon yellow, and I think they found me because of the news and my hashtag, and they matched it up with my card that was in the hopper, and they contacted me to come back for the second round of tryouts, which was at a hotel in North Oklahoma City. So I went back then in late May and took a test at a hotel at North Oklahoma City, and they graded our tests on the spot, and then they kept us for 2 more rounds of tryouts at that hotel. And they narrowed us down from 140 people that day to 12 people. And I made it through those 2 rounds of tryouts during that audition. And then when I left that day, they told us that we might get a letter within 2 weeks and we might not. And if we heard from them in 2 weeks, then we were going to be on the show. And if we didn't, then we didn't get to be on the show. So I checked my mailbox very fervently for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, I went to my mailbox, and sure enough, there was a letter in my mailbox that said that I got to be on the show. And they, surprisingly enough, they don't give you any warning. I got a call on a Thursday, and I had to be there like the next Thursday. And you have to buy your own plane ticket, and it's really exciting. I mean, it's very intense and all of that, so it's fun.
What was your experience?
The experience was exciting. I got there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and the very first person I saw was Vanna White. She came into the studio with no makeup and no hair done, and she introduced herself. She was very, very sweet, very, very fun. And we spent the whole day in a room with the contestants for the entire day. They do your hair, they do your makeup. They're very picky about what you wear for the show. And they spend the whole day teaching you how to spin the wheel. The wheel is super heavy. It's way smaller than it looks, and everything is very controlled for the day. You're not allowed to have any mobile devices or anything the whole day. They keep you in a room in a very controlled environment. And then it's very random, like they draw who your partners are and stuff like that. But it was a fun experience. I mean, I'm glad I did it, and I'll be on the very first show of the first show of Teachers Week for the 34th season of Wheel of Fortune. So September 12th at 6:30 on Channel 5.
Thanks, Lucas. Tuesday night, volleyball came out on top with a win against PC North, winning 3-1, moving their record to 10-6 on the season and 3-0 in conference play. In the fourth set down, 23-22, Lauren King come into the serve and scored 3 consecutive points and an ace to seal the win for the Lady Jackets. Their next game is Tuesday against Lawton at Lawton. Now to football. After an amazing season opener win against Sapopa, 52-42, our football players will play Sand Springs here at home tonight at 7. Now to the Coach Dillback Show.
This is Tyler Young on the Coach Dillback Show. We're here with Coach Dillback. Coach, tell us a little bit about the game last week.
Tyler, it was a great game last week. First home game. You know, you always want to win the season opener. And it was an exciting game to come watch. It was a little more exciting than what I wanted to be, but it was a great game for the fans to come out. Had a great student section, great crowd. Our kids performed well. We wound up winning 52-42, which is always good to get that first victory under your belt. Of course, this week we're in a cap with the Sand Springs Sandikes, but let's talk about the players of the game last week. Our MVP was Tay Gibbs and Dylan Weaver. Offensive players of the game were Ethan Cruz and J.D. Kolb. Our defensive players of the game were Curtis Neely and Gio McLean. Defensive linemen of the game were Tyrell Bell and Talon Unruh. Offensive linemen were Caden Milkey and Taryn Clark. Big hit, we had 3 big hits of the game, Curtis Neely, Ray J, and Zane Harper. Special team was Colin Armstrong and Liam Jones. And our practice player of the week was Dakota Armstrong. And our hustle player of the week was Isaiah Sumlin. Great job overall team-wise. The kids just did a super job of performing.
Coach, you want to talk about this week's game with the Sand Springs?
You bet. Tyler, they come off of a loss, but they played Pulaski Academy. Pulaski Academy is a great football team in Arkansas, so the score doesn't indicate what type of team Sand Springs has. They're the defending state runner-up in Class 6A2, so they've played in big games. It's an opportunity for us to send a statement out. We got to go play well and just prepare us for our conference game. But it'll be an exciting game Friday night here at Bill Jensen Stadium. So we want everybody to come out and be a part of that. Choctaw, Condarse, con clase.
Now to softball. Softball won Tuesday night against Steel City 14-3, moving their record to 9-7. They're playing in the OU tournament tonight. If you can't make it to tonight, go see them in action tomorrow. Tuesday, they'll be back home in a doubleheader at 4. They'll play against PC West and at 6:30 against Edmond Santa Fe. Now to cross country. Boys cross country placed 6 out of 20 in 6A and 5A groups. All 7 varsity runners finished under the 20 minutes William Ward won a medal in the top 15. Maverick Phillips and Peyton Sexton ran personal best. They're all running tonight now at Midwest City in the Midwest City division. Now back to you, Lucas.
That's all, Yellow Jackets. Hang 10.